As you can see, AIDS has had a rather devastating effect on the entertainment industry. How will the entertainment industry respond? Find out next on AIDS Vision. Hi, welcome to AIDS Vision. I'm your volunteer host, Allison Arngrim, and today we're going to be talking with people from Hollywood Supports about what Hollywood Supports does and also about the Day of Compassion, which is June 21st, by the way, in case you've all forgotten. And with me today is Rich Jennings, who's the Executive Director of Hollywood Supports, who's been on our show before. Hello.
Good to see you, Alan.
And joining us for the first time is Lynn Gabriel, and your Assistant Director for the AIDS in the Workplace Division of Hollywood Supports, and Burt, writer-producer.
That's me.
That's you. Welcome to AIDS Vision.
Thank you.
And I guess for people who don't know, we've had shows about Hollywood Supports, but now Day of Compassion's been going for a while. What exactly is Hollywood Supports, and how was that started?
It was started actually by the leadership of the entertainment industry, responding about 5 years ago to the feeling that there was a lot of fear and a sense of discrimination that people were experiencing within the entertainment industries about either HIV status or sexual orientation. And so the industry leadership decided to form an organization calling on expertise from AIDS Project Los Angeles, from GLAAD LA, to help them counter those kinds of fears that were out there. One of the first things we did was create an AIDS in the Workplace seminar, and Burt and Lynn are two of our longtime facilitators who've led over 2,000 seminars for the entertainment industries across the country on AIDS. We also have a sexual orientation in the workplace seminar, dealing with sexual orientation as a diversity issue. We were the organization that succeeded in getting now over 40 major entertainment companies to adopt domestic partner benefits for gay and lesbian employees, and we've also worked with all the industry companies on adopting better benefits for people with HIV. At this point, now 3 or 4 years along into this effort, we began to have a network of people who were in the industry, who were writers, creative people, talk show hosts, various kinds of people who wanted to do more, wanted to be able to get out the word to people about how to protect themselves from infection, how to be compassionate and supportive of others in their life, others in their workplace who were affected by HIV. And Day of Compassion seemed like a great way to harness that kind of energy and creativity.
How many years has Day of Compassion been going now?
This is the 4th annual Day of Compassion. It began 4 years ago as an effort that primarily involved daytime dramas. A volunteer of ours, Neil Tadkin, who's an actor, had the idea after watching an episode of One Life to Live, an AIDS-themed episode, and he thought, gee, that really was powerful. It reaches a segment of the population, especially young people, women who we're trying to get information to about HIV because they're among the fastest growing.
And reaches them in a way they understand. I mean, people are watching the soaps, they're becoming emotionally involved, so if you're telling them something via the soap opera, this is something people will pay attention to.
Right, right. It's a character you can get involved with, you can actually see what issues are going on with them. It's not a public service message, which has a limited impact. And he thought it would be a great idea to get some more soap operas involved in doing that. He was successful in getting about half the soaps and came to us with the idea of getting more help. We helped the first year, we helped the second year, and the third year we decided this is something that basically everybody in the entertainment industry should have an opportunity to get on board with.
Well,
So
now
it's
they pretty much
expanded.
do. I mean, this is now sort of epic. It's now every channel, pretty much every show
Pretty
for the
much.
entire, is it 24 hours or is it just like 12 hours now?
Well, we're delighted it's nearly 24 hours on Century
24
Cable.
hours. Well, to Century Cable, we're round the clock.
And actually, we'll start with some late night shows the night before on Thursday, the 20th. It will be dominating all of daytime programming on the 21st. And then there's primetime programming like Hard Copy and Entertainment Tonight, Extra, that are participating. There will be some late night shows that participate as well. It will even continue on into Monday of the following week. There will be a wrap-up show on Regis and Kathy Lee.
So instead of, we started with like the Day of Compassion, a few daytime shows, now we have Day of Compassion Eve, and it's sort of a weekend-long thing.
It's getting that way, yeah, definite spillover. And people have come up with amazing ideas for episodes, wonderful talk shows, wonderful new ideas, wonderful new approaches. We know that it has an impact, that the numbers of people calling the AIDS hotlines go up dramatically on this day, and it really makes a difference.
Is it all educational, or do they try to make it all educational, or do they also just include anything that has an AIDS theme? If it is entertainment-driven, news-driven?
All kinds of different ways. I'll let Lynn, who's our project director, address some of the ways that shows are participating.
Yeah, I think that the definition of education gets very broad when you talk about the participation of all the shows, because if it brings about awareness in some manner, then it's going to educate, just by the fact that it's making people more aware. I mean, this year we have participation from a Chinese cable television station that broadcasts to, has like a 68 million household reach, that's going to be participating in a number of ways this year. Both Telemundo and Univision are participating as far as the Spanish language stations goes. We've had a lot of, we have German television stations, French television stations participating this year. So the effort is really getting much more broad, so people find a way to tailor the particular show that they have or the format of their show to the theme of HIV and AIDS, whether it's incorporating it into a storyline or doing something strictly educational, or having on guests who have been affected by HIV or AIDS and talking about their personal stories.
Now, do you ever have trouble with people who want to do something stupid for Day of Compassion, when you have to explain to them that it like has to be something good? I mean, with TV we're talking about, I mean, it's difficult.
Yeah, exactly.
It says the writer-producer.
Define stupid. Exactly, maybe that's more Burt's area. No, we have to sometimes kind of steer them in the right direction or give them new ideas, helping them with guest ideas. Very often, most shows are more than willing to do a show. They just will call us and say, we want to do it, tell us what we can do. Give us some guest ideas, give us a story idea. And so we really have been able to kind of tailor things and have a lot of input on a lot of the shows.
So whereas on the one hand, they may not really know enough about it to do something, on the other hand, it's great because it gives you more input.
Exactly, exactly.
There's one show that's participated year after year from the beginning, General Hospital, and you know, we don't have to tell them anything. They have people affected by HIV who've been involved regularly year after year. They have gays and lesbians on the creative staff. This year, among other things, they've got a song called When Angels Cry by Janice Ian. Janice Ian is performing it. It's an AIDS-themed song that really is powerful. And they lost a character on the show within the last few months to HIV, and another character has been on for years. The character of Robin Scorpio now has HIV and is dealing with it. And so there are some shows like that. There are other shows that want to do something but are essentially clueless, and we're happy to point them in the right direction. We've also had people like Burt, who are TV writers, and help create some PSAs for us that we think have a lot of impact. We've had about 10 celebrities this year who signed on to do PSAs. We've got some more in the works, even Hercules and Xena for
Hercules
next year.
and Xena?
Yes.
Oh.
And
All kinds of heroes we do at Hollywood Support.
Yes. We're going to be running some of those PSAs, I know, on this show and of course on well, century, as I said, is going to be 24 hours. We'll go round the clock.
That's right.
But what are some of the PSAs? And do you have a theme this year? Is there a different theme each year at Day of Compassion? Do you try to angle it?
This year's theme is volunteerism, and we certainly try to encourage that through the PSAs. One of the other big things that we were trying to encourage through the PSAs this year is to educate kids, adolescents, because the rates of infection among teens is growing staggeringly. You know, we're at the point in the history of this country where we are now seeing the number of HIV-infected teenagers double every 14 months, you know, which obviously has very personal implications, but also for the workplace, which is where we do most of our education. That's the workforce in the next 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
So there's some very obvious workplace issues there as well. So we stress volunteerism, we stress education, educating every level, but certainly encouraging parents to talk to their kids.
Now, for the education in the workplace, I know in the early days of like AIDS in the workplace, education was always very basic. No, you're not going to catch it off the desk. You've been doing this for some time now. Have things progressed? What kind of education in the workplace do you do? And is it different doing it for the entertainment industry?
Well, actually, I've done it within the entertainment industry and a lot of them outside the entertainment industry also, and it's surprising to me that it really has not changed. The questions that were being asked 4 years ago are still being asked today. What's changed, I think, is the attitude. As more time has gone by and people have gotten a little more used to it, they're not quite as afraid as they were when they used to come in and were terrified about what they were going to hear and weren't ready to believe anything that they were going to hear. And now I think people are more willing to accept the information. And one of the things that we try and do in the Hollywood Supports Seminar is not just tell people that something is true, but tell them why it's true. You know, give them the information that they need to apply to any new information that they might hear later on so they can figure out for themselves.
That's a really
how
good
it makes
idea
sense.
because telling them where they can also get more information, but it's also a good idea because anyone could come in and just get up and go, well, this is how you get it, this is how you don't, and
Right.
I thought of it this
Right.
morning, so I thought I'd come in and make it up for you.
Exactly.
And so, yeah, I think they need to be taught to think critically because, well, they read things in the papers, they see strange news reports they don't understand,
Right.
and you try to break through that.
And even if they were to read the entire article, when they saw something in the newspaper, that would be better than just reading the first paragraph, which is usually what people do. They see the headline or they see the paragraph. They don't really comprehend what the total story is about because the headline is designed to catch your attention and sell newspapers and not necessarily tell what the story is. So we do deal with a lot of things that come up in the media, you know, kind of go and put out fires where people begin to panic because they've read something or they've heard something, and it's tough to stay on top of all of those things, but it's important to do that if you're going to go out and present in the workplace.
Now, we're going to do a roll-in actually right now, some PSAs. I don't know, this may be one of the ones from you guys. We'll take a look here. We'll be right back.
Be a role model. To me, I'm just Christophe St. John. But I do have a message for all of you. Join me this year for the Day of Compassion and learn how you can participate in the fight against HIV and AIDS. So on June 21st, listen to the radio, tune into your favorite soap, and get the facts. That way, the real role model will be you.
Is talking about the Day of Compassion, and that was one of the Day of Compassion PSAs. So now, did you write these? You created these? What did you do?
I don't think I actually wrote that
You didn't
one.
get to do that one?
I didn't get to do that one.
No.
Find one of mine.
Find one of yours and run it. I did. So I was on Extra recently, and I plugged Day of Compassion. They wanted to film something for Extra, so heck, I was doing my Day of
great.
Compassion
Great.
plug. So
We like
get,
that.
they're going to try to like rerun the segment or do something on it on Day of Compassion,
Great.
work it into the segment.
Yeah,
That's great.
definitely. We expect the new host from Extra at the press briefing too, which is going to be at ProMax this year to launch Day of Compassion a couple days before to make sure that everybody knows about it.
Get that week of compassion thing going.
It's happening. We this year too, news and radio people approached us wanting to be more involved this year. So we expect a lot of stations to be running PSAs. We've got their rock stations around the country.
Was the
which are gonna be
radio
doing-
more involved before? I don't remember there
No,
being any radio.
No.
This is
no,
this is a new one. Great.
Radio is new. Cable, of course, came on board last year in a major way, and wonderful participation again this year. But radio is new. We also had several magazines which took some ads that we created advertising both the talk shows which are participating and the daytime dramas. The tagline for the daytime drama one is, on June 21st there'll be a dramatic increase in AIDS awareness, and it lists all of the talk shows in little TV screens, and that's appeared in Bicycling Magazine, The Advocate, Frontiers, Soap Opera Digest,
Right.
and we're still waiting to see some of the magazines which have agreed to do it. Yeah.
Now, is there going to be like themed stuff on the internet or the World Wide Web? How do we have Day of Compassion on the web?
That's a good question for Lynn.
The web is my thing.
Are you going to get on the web?
Right now, the stuff that we've been working on some connections with some of the service providers to get Day of Compassion on the web, and that's going somewhat slowly. On our website, we are giving the logos of the participating shows who wanted to send them, and creating links to websites for some of the other shows, because all the major networks all have their own websites with each show having its own page. So we're trying to create a hyperlink with our own logo so that we can provide it to other sites that want to download it. And then we're also providing, like I said, the logos that they can just click on when they want to see what's going on with that particular show. Because the soap operas for each day will very often give a synopsis at the beginning or the end of the week of what's coming up, and Day of Compassion, of course, will be mentioned. So
now, if someone has a website, and this may be a volunteer opportunity that hadn't thought of, if someone is watching this and you happen to be on the web or have your own page and you want to participate, if they want to do Day of Compassion on their website and participate in this.
You bet. You bet. They can get on our website. It is at www.hsupports.org. And they can send me an email, and I'd be happy to hook up or, find out what they're doing.
The Day of Compassion pages also have regularly listed updates of what shows are participating and suggestions as to how people themselves in their own community can participate. It also has texts of public service announcements that radio stations can read on the air. So there's a variety of volunteer opportunities right there.
Now, there's an image, because we see all this stuff going on, and so many celebrities who are coming forward to speak about AIDS, and people in the entertainment industry who have HIV speaking out, that people in the entertainment industry as a whole, and we know it's not as a whole because it's still a whole bunch of very different people, are somehow more enlightened or better educated. Now, I know better, but perhaps could you explain, is it different in doing the workplace seminars? What kind of level are you finding in the entertainment industry? Is it more difficult, less difficult? What is it like?
It is a really diverse business, and it is a business. There's a varying level of sophistication, and we do lots of different people, including frontline cable installers, people who are actually going into people's homes, installing cable, complain to us about seeing syringes and other kinds of dangerous conditions, and they have those kinds of questions about AIDS. We do the seminar for grips, for blue-collar workers basically who drive trucks, do other kinds of heavy lifting, for shows, for studios, and they have lots of questions about blood spills and those kinds of things. Some of the other groups, you did it for a group of female Teamsters in Las Vegas.
Yeah, the Teamster women had us out. We did one in Anaheim, and we did them in Las Vegas as well. The Teamster women, as a matter of fact, had us come out recently to one of the locals in the desert areas to bring their teenage girls. So that they could sit through the seminar as well. And what we found a lot with the entertainment industry, and I don't know if you found this as well, while they may not be any more enlightened, they want to be thought of as more sophisticated. And so when you approach them from that standpoint, as if you know that they already know most of the information, and maybe you're just going to clarify some things for them. But if you treat them as if they're more sophisticated, I think a lot of times you get a better response.
That works generally with people, I think.
So, well, that's a good motivator, actually. It's that I'm in the entertainment industry, I don't actually know more about AIDS than the next person, but people think I should, so I'm more motivated to get educated so that no one will find out that I actually don't have a clue.
Exactly.
Well, that's good. You can play off this then.
Yeah, it works very well to play to people's strengths, because part of what you start out trying to do is help them to take out the garbage, take out the things, the old images that they're used to seeing and hearing over the last 10 or 15 years, and replacing it with new information. So they may actually have a certain level of knowledge, they just don't have those extra connecting pieces that they need to make sense of the rest of it.
Now, when you tell people that you're HIV positive, what sort of response do you get? from people? Do you run into people you used to work with, et cetera?
I actually, I disclose all over the country. So
you've been public for a while, everyone knows.
Yeah. I actually have been very lucky. I get generally a very good response. I have had very few people out of the thousands that I've done seminars in front of or worked with that had a bad reaction. And I think part of the reason for that is that I'm very comfortable with it. I'm comfortable with my knowledge level about the issue. I can talk comfortably about it. I can talk about someone's concerns and hopefully answer their questions. So I really generally get a very supportive response. And in a seminar in particular, I wait till the end. I wait until they've formed a bond with me as the person up in front of them. They've already made their decision about what they think about me as a person. So now throwing in that piece of information makes them think about it in a different way, because I obviously don't look like someone who has had HIV for 14 years.
So instead of you're the guy with HIV, you're the guy they know who has now told them that
Right.
he has HIV,
Right.
which is
and who
always
they
a
really
different
want to
thing.
care about now and figure out how that really applies to a person's life. It gives it a face that just going up and saying I'm HIV positive or just going up and giving statistics doesn't provide, but the combination seems to work very well.
Well, thank you for coming on the show. And now, where do people, if they want to get in touch with you to do more, because we want people obviously to get involved besides watching the show.
For those who are on the net, the website is a good place, http://www.hsupports.org. Our local phone
And people
number
who are on the
is,
net can remember those things better than I can, so good.
Yeah, it is something that one picks up. Our local phone number is 213-655-7705, and we have monthly programs on AIDS issues, on gay and lesbian issues for people who are involved with the entertainment industry or interested in the entertainment
So they can
industry.
request an education seminar, they can participate in one, they
Absolutely.
can volunteer. And I want to, of course, do the big plug because we're here on Century Cable and we're going to be going round the clock on Day of Compassion.
Yay.
This show, not just this show, AIDS Vision, but this particular episode is going to be the big kickoff at noon on June 21st, the Day of Compassion. And so from here on in, if it is June 21st, you will be seeing a lot of me and also a lot of all of our other fabulous AIDS-related programming. We're going to be showing certain AIDS Vision episodes you know and love, the one with Valerie Harper, the Academy Awards benefit. Greg Louganis is going to be on Century. Also the stage plays produced for television, Alicia and Last Dance Chica. So stay tuned because all of this stuff is going to be on and I'm going to be on your television all day and I like that. And thank you so much for coming on AIDS Vision.
Thank you, Allison.
And thank you for letting me be involved in Day of Compassion. And thank you for what you're doing.
Thank you for inviting us.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Everywhere I turn, there's always lots to learn, and just as many reasons as to why. You and me got choices, so listen to the voices inside us that say don't quit, don't cry.